Have you ever stopped to think about how much our world has changed? Especially with technology. It's easy to get caught up in the latest gadgets and trends. But what if some of these everyday things are subtly preparing us for something much bigger? Something foretold thousands of years ago. Today, we're going to explore 5 everyday things that seem to be aligning with biblical prophecies about the mark of the beast. This isn't about fear-mongering. It's about opening our eyes and encouraging discussion. First up, let's talk about microchips. For years, we've been using them to track our pets and our packages. Now, we're seeing them being implanted in humans. In Sweden, thousands have already opted to get a microchip in their hand to replace keys, credit cards, and train tickets. The convenience is undeniable. You can unlock your door, buy a coffee, or clock into work with a simple wave of your hand. The technology is presented as a secure and efficient way to manage our daily lives. But think about it. A small device, implanted in the hand, used for all transactions. Does that ring a bell? The Bible, in Revelation 13, speaks of a mark on the right hand or forehead, without which no one could buy or sell. While today's chips are voluntary and for convenience, they normalize the very idea of implantable technology linked to our identity and ability to transact. It's a small step, but it's a step that makes the previously unimaginable seem plausible. Next, let's look at the move towards digital currency. We're already living in a largely cashless society. How often do you actually use physical cash anymore? We tap our cards, use our phones, and make payments online. It's fast, it's clean, and it's trackable. Governments around the world are now actively developing central bank digital currencies, or CBDCs. A CBDC would be a digital version of a country's fiat currency, issued and backed by the central bank. This gives governments unprecedented control over money. They could potentially track every single transaction you make. They could even program the money, setting rules on what you can or cannot buy, or even making your funds expire if not used. Imagine a system where your access to your own money could be switched off with the click of a button if you do comply with certain requirements. This level of control is a key component of the end-time system described in the Bible, where economic participation is conditional. The shift to purely digital money creates the perfect infrastructure for such a system to be implemented on a global scale. The third point is something we've all become incredibly familiar with recently. QR codes. Quick response codes are everywhere. We use them to view restaurant menus, check in for flights, make payments, and access information. During the recent global health crisis, they became an essential tool for tracking and access control. In many countries, you needed a specific QR code on your phone to enter shops, restaurants, or even your workplace. This system effectively trained billions of people to accept that their freedom of movement and access to basic services could be tied to a digital pass. It normalized the idea of a show-your-paper society, but in a modern, digital format. This conditions us to accept a system where our ability to participate in society is granted or denied based on a scannable code linked to our personal data and status. It's another piece of the puzzle. A technological and psychological primer for a system that demands absolute compliance to buy, sell, and simply live. Fourth on our list is the rise of global policies and governance. We're seeing an increasing push for international cooperation on issues like health, climate, and finance. Organizations like the World Health Organization, the United Nations, and the World Economic Forum are proposing global solutions to global problems. While cooperation can be a good thing, it also leads to a centralization of power and a harmonization of rules and regulations across nations. We hear terms like the Great Reset or Build Back Better, which advocate for a fundamental restructuring of the world's economies and societies. This push for a unified, global system, governed by a select group of unelected bodies, echoes the prophecies of a one-world government that will precede the rise of the Antichrist. When nations surrender their sovereignty to a global authority, it creates a structure through which a single figure or entity could exert worldwide control, just as the Bible describes. Finally, let's talk about predictive programming. This is the idea that we are being conditioned through media, movies, TV shows, and books to accept future events. Think about how many dystopian films and series have become popular. They often feature themes of mass surveillance, government overreach, loss of individual freedom, and technologically enforced social control. We see storylines about societies where people are tracked by implants, where digital currency is the only option, and where a global government makes all the rules. By presenting these ideas as entertainment, as fiction, they become less shocking when they start to appear in our real world. It plants a seed in our collective consciousness, making us familiar with concepts that would otherwise be alarming. So when we hear about a new surveillance technology or a proposal for a digital ID, part of our brain says, "Oh, I've seen this in a movie." It desensitizes us and normalizes what should be questioned. So, let's put it all together. We have microchips normalizing implantable tech. We have digital currencies creating the infrastructure for total financial control. We have QR codes conditioning us to accept digital passes for societal access. We have global policies pushing for a centralized, one-world system. And we have predictive programming in our media, desensitizing us to it all. None of these things, in isolation, is the mark of the beast. A QR code is not the mark. A credit card is not the mark. But when you look at the direction things are heading, when you see how these technologies and ideologies are converging, it paints a very clear picture. It's like an infrastructure being built, piece by piece. The highway is being paved, the signs are being put up, and the on-ramps are being constructed. The Bible tells us the mark of the beast will be a conscious choice, a pledge of allegiance to a system and a figure that rejects God. It won't be something we're tricked into. However, the world we are living in is being rapidly reshaped to make that choice seem not only plausible but logical, convenient, and even necessary for survival. The pressure to conform will be immense. This is not a call to fear, but a call to be aware, to be discerning, and most importantly, to be rooted in your faith. As technology advances and society changes, it's more crucial than ever to know what you believe and why you believe it. We need to examine these trends through a biblical lens, to have conversations, and to be prepared spiritually and mentally for what may lie ahead. The world may be preparing for its system, but we must be prepared for the return of Christ. It's about keeping our eyes on the eternal, not just the temporary conveniences of the here and now. Thank you for watching and for thinking through these important topics with me. What are your thoughts? Are there other things you see in our daily lives that point in this direction? Let me know in the comments below. If this video resonated with you, please give it a like and subscribe for more content that helps us navigate these changing times with faith and wisdom. God bless.